Hi, I'm Chris Madsen. This message is for every citizen upon the planet. You have birthrights. These birthrights have been stolen. They were stolen not only from you, but from your parents. And from your parents before them, your parents before them, and so on. This happened thousands of years ago. As a matter of fact, pretty well since the time man has been on earth. It is time now to reclaim our rightful birthrights. At this moment, regardless of what your status seems to be on this earth, you could be one of the more wealthy ones that thinks that life is doing okay, or to the vast majority that are in suffering and are in stressful situations and wondering how they're going to make the next paycheck. We know about the famines all around the world. The vast majority of money going to an elite 3%, and that is also in charge of what you see in media. The military spends your money killing people and building up this machine, on and on and on. But let me start right from the beginning here. This is essential, is that there is an infinite awareness. I'm not going to use the word God on purpose. And the reason I'm not going to use the word God is because of that is part of the programming and the enslavement that we've been put under. In truth, there is an infinite awareness, a universal mind. It is a consciousness. Everything that is within all the universe or universes, within whatever it can possibly be, it's within this mind, this consciousness. Now, within this, there are attributes of it. Now, we can't fully know this while we're in our body temples here, because it is truly infinite and all-knowing and supreme, and like whatever love you can vision, this unconditional love flowing out from this prime first cause. It's that. It's the ultimate creative force. It's everything that you could possibly imagine. It's within the sea of potentials that it is. As we know from just basic sciences, is that energy is not created nor destroyed. It simply changes form. Now, this infinite consciousness is the author. It's what brought it into being, this infinite sea of energy that everything dances through and as. We are unique in that we are not just thrown on this earth for, a lifetime of going through all this suffering and everything else, and then die and then just go back to the earth. We are far, far from that. We are this very consciousness manifest within these body temples. So there is an aspect of your being that never grows old. When you were a little kid, it's that same consciousness. It's really changeless. That's the real you. That aspect of you lives forever and ever and ever and ever. And which is a whole other heavy-duty thing, because time really doesn't even exist, nor space. They're all constructs on this level. But that's going a little bit deeper than we need to right now. What we need to know is this, is that this creative force, it, just like us, because it is us, it wants relationship. It wants free will beings. Like, okay, let's put it this way. Pretend like you are the only one in the universe, and you are completely omniscient. That means all powerful. You can do whatever you want. And on top of that, you have got complete supreme knowledge of every potential in every aspect of every realm of what could possibly be. There's one thing that you don't have within all of that would be relationship. It's like no matter how powerful you are, if there's only one of you, that aspect which we know within ourselves as loneliness or seeking, well, as we know, God, or this power I'm talking about, it is totally complete. And an aspect of that is because it does have relationship with free will beings. Now, to have a relationship, it means that the quality of free will, you have to be able to choose or not choose. So upon planet Earth, man, Hugh means God, man, the God-man was formed. Now, so initially it's beautiful, you know, we have right now, this moment, the ability for paradise on earth, as we did in the beginning. So this force that put us on the planet, that designed our body temples and put us into form, it did it so that we would have a realm, a place to dwell upon, a paradise, a beautiful place. Now, as an aspect of that, is we were given every resource required. Very important here. We still have those resources. They are available to us. So, now, what's gone on is since the beginning, there has been energies that consciousness, people, and different energy forces that have attempted to suppress us, to dominate, to dictate over us, put us into enslavement, to make sure that we do not know our real power. That is what's gone on from time immemorial. And now, I'm going to give you an example. On this planet, we don't see any borders, but yet we know there's borders. Those are all constructs of man. Those are people that have tried to own and dictate and govern over others, have gotten other forces together with them and said, you know, this is our country, etc. And then they start warring against other countries, and then militaries. And then now a favorite thing is to create chaos and dissension. They need to keep the fear within us and all of this going on so that we're disempowered. A good example is in religion. As soon as you identify with one avatar, like for Christians it's Christ. As soon as I am a Christian, and thus all of it, rather than be in relationship like Christ taught, to be in relationship with the I am, all of a sudden now in religion it's you have to believe in Jesus Christ, excluding all other religions. So now you have an us versus them. Same with Islam. Islam, you know, yay Muhammad, and because of this, if you're a Christian or a Jew or anything, it's an us versus them. Those are constructs, just like the border. See, this is how we have to break loose, free from this prison that we're in, is realizing this. Yes, it is true what Christ himself taught. I am the truth, the light, and the way. What is the I am? It's the same thing that they said to Moses. When Moses said, who do I say sent me? I am. On and on. Krishna, Buddha, they all spoke of this power, the Tao. Now this power does not envelop itself in any one religion. It simply is. It's like the sun. It's shining through and on man and as man. So, this is what's going on here, is that on our planet, at this time, there has been an elite group that for literal centuries has attempted to suppress us from knowing our true power. And they have succeeded. They have succeeded, which is, it's not like we're entering a global elite domination state. We are there now. We are prisoners. If you don't believe me, try go building a house on a beautiful mountain cliff somewhere. See how long before something's trying to come and take that away. Try just saying to your hydro company, you know what? The people own the water that you have this dam on. We own the land that these wires are crossing. We own it. It's ours. It's not yours. We're not paying anymore. See what happens when you say that. We are under domination from this force right now. And but now here is the beautiful news, is that the only power that has over us, just like the borders, the only power it has over us is that which we collectively give it. And so I myself, standing alone, am like Gandhi, a minority of one, speaking truth. It's still truth. But what I am calling for now is a true revolution. And back to our birthright being restored. This force that I'm talking about, the global elite, this domination force that has taken over the planet, comes in many disguises. The United States government, the military, the corporations, Monsanto, the whole entire banking construct, the oil industry, all of this upon the planet, these are constructs that are designed to keep you and I in this slavery. They are robbing us of our birthrights. They are destroying the planet through this energy field. So, what is the solution? And what does Chris Madsen say that we do now? Okay, number one, hold the vision of what it looks like on this planet without that energy, that elite global domination. I'm going to give you some ideas here. One big one is that we've had the technology for free energy for a long time. From Tesla, right up the ancient Egyptians actually had it themselves. But that's another story. So this is what happens. A person, they're working in their basement or a group of people, and they get their magnets together just right with their wires and this, and they come up with an energy device that really works well. So Great. And then so they take it to the patent office. And what they don't realize is that the patent office is one of the global elite, the cabal, whatever you want to call it. That's one of their many checkpoints for anything that would pull us out of the suppression of their world domination. So the patent office goes, oh, this person has a free energy device. Knock, knock, knock. Excuse me, they'll do whatever they can to make sure that that technology doesn't get out. The U.S. military has all sorts of things that would set us free. Now imagine even just with this one technology alone of free energy. Stanley Myers and different people like this, there's hydrogen in water, and they've come up with ways to momentarily pull the hydrogen out, which is highly combustible, so you can have, for instance, a car where it's just water. You put water in the car, and then right before it hits the spark plug, boom, it's hydrogen, and then it goes back out as water. We don't need this plastic. But now imagine this, that if that gets out, all of a sudden the pipelines are no more. The entire oil industry is gone, which totally messes up the elite. Plus, with us having free energy, now we don't need to keep in this suppression mode. For instance, if my home, if I have free energy, first off, I could run my vehicle off it, etc. I could have a greenhouse year-round where I never have to see a grocery store again. Remember, food comes from the ground, which is the next thing of this vision of when we get rid of the suppression, is that we have been trained and programmed that food comes from the grocery stores. And if you don't get it from the grocery stores, maybe a little bit from a garden, but other than that, you're going to starve. You need us. That's another suppression tactic. All food comes from the ground. And so what we should be doing is planting berries and fruit trees and things like this that grow natural in the environment you're in, so that the majority of the food that any of us takes, it's simply, ours for the taking. It's like the outdoors is our grocery store. Like right now, here it is late October in Canada, and while I go hiking, I generally have my lunch while I'm hiking, just from wild edibles, and I'm incredibly healthy. There's wild asparagus, blah, 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 you name it. Right now, in the last couple of days, let's see, Oregon grape, rose hips, wild mint, plantain, dandelions, juniper berries, on and on. It's there. But the point is here is that we can expand that greatly. Another thing is that we're being poisoned right now, GMO foods and all of these different things. Chemtrails, there's so much that's entering, and that's all in aspects of being dominated and suppressed. So in the world I'm talking about, the vision that is our true birthright, one, there are no borders. You could call, Canada, that's that place there, or Malaysia or whatever, but the point is there's no borders, there's no passports. You go wherever you want, when you want. We were born on this planet when the Creator made this planet. The Creator did not create borders. We were made to be free to go wherever we want. Part of the suppression has been taking us to that place. And then so now I hear people that are very very programmed. They'll go, well, we can't have that. What about all the people, say, down in Mexico that are real poor and we have lots up here? Excuse me, if we're not under suppression, there's going to be an equal amount everywhere around the planet. You know, the suppression and the poverty, that's man-made by this same system that's keeping us suppressed. You know, we can have food growing wild all over the place. We don't need to have this whole thing of, you know, poverty versus that. And here's another point, is that the people in the more famine places, which, by the way, these famines have been created, they're man-made. That's a whole other thing right there. All of us were equally born on planet Earth. Every individual, it's their birthright to equally share all the resources from the planet. It's equally all of ours. Now, this is essential, is that same force that created this earth and placed man on it, it gave us the resources, everything that we require to have paradise on earth. And those resources are still here, right now, this moment. So why don't we have it? You know, I just read a report today that just in that there are more vacant homes in the United States because of foreclosures and such. There are 6 vacant homes in the United States for every homeless person there is that's sleeping on the street right now. You know, I haven't counted the homes and the homeless people, but that came from a rather, you know, reputable source, so it makes sense. We have enough food falling on the ground right now, you know, that to feed everyone. We don't, in other words, we don't have a lack of resources to make this paradise on earth. What we have is suppressed people that are being dominated by about 3% max that are keeping us in suppression. And so we have to rise up and say no against this. And what we're saying no to is this domination. Like if you are, picture you have 1,000 horses in this big field, right? And there's one person that made a fence, you know, and they keep these horses in there. Well, as soon as the horses go, hey, we're not in here anymore, they could go free anytime they want. That one person couldn't stop them, you know? But now if just one horse tries to get through, that one person can whip them and, you know, do all the fear things, and et cetera, et cetera. So this is why collectively we have to raise our consciousness and get out of this matrix, that this concentration camp that we've been placed in. Now, there's just so much to say here. So now here's this again, next essential thing is, okay, so we decide, everybody just says no, we're not going to pay our mortgages and rent and everything else. You know, we're still no further ahead, because in truth, now this is incredibly essential. Maybe the most important thing you will ever hear in your life is that the reason we are being dominated is because we have not taken our power. We are not in connection with the source. The vision for paradise on earth is what I'm talking about. And it starts within the heart. Because, like I was saying, unless we shift our consciousness, it doesn't matter how much of our birthrights we reclaim, we're no better off. As a matter of fact, the reason we are in this mess and this enslavement and this domination, living paycheck to paycheck, people dying of famines and everything else, is because we lost our power. We lost our power by giving it away, by allowing others to take control of us. And so we've given other authorities, other people, our power. You know, it could be a king, a queen, a government, a corporation, whatever. And usually it's been done through deceit, etc., etc. And so the mess that we're in now is because we lost our power. We did not connect with this source, have a relationship with source. You see, we are to trust source, not resources. And as we trust the source, in other words, as we're in alignment with love, everything else falls into place. Now, everything that we've been lied to and programmed and controlled into believing, pretty well all of it is a lie. In paradise, on this earth, when you're in connection with source, it's not about competition. It's about sharing. It's about blessing the others. It's about giving your all, uplifting others. It's not about trying to dominate a market or something. It's trying to serve the greater good for the whole. It's not about trying to claim a land as being yours. It's recognizing that just like the birds, they all, they build their nest and the earth and sky is theirs. Same with every animal, etc. They don't pay, a coyote doesn't pay another coyote rent or mortgage, etc. and own this amount, there's a harmony in this sense, right? Debt is another thing that is, owe no man anything but to love them. All of these things, this is how paradise on earth works. This is how this whole new system works. And so the greatest person then is the one that gives their all to love. That's what we're talking about here. So the ego, the I, the survival and all that, that's replaced with the truth, the reality of who you really are. You're a divine being in connection with Source on this planet to live present and mindful in each moment and bringing your pleasure from the beauty, the nature, the beautiful taste of foods, the wind on your face, watching a butterfly dance, the diamonds dancing on the lake waters as the sun shines through, children playing, and in other words, purity, sacredness, in touch with that. Your body temple being nourished by good, wholesome, vibrant, organic foods. Your relationships connected through Source, knowing that as you're relating with another person, you are relating with this same one, this Source. We're all aspects of this one. That's how we reclaim the earth. And as we do, the darkness is exposed, and we simply say no to it. And so I'll give you examples. Like any aspect where we're being dominated to, we don't fight against it. We expose it for what it is. And then as much as possible, we move in the solutions. I love real solutions. Give you an example. GMO foods. They're obviously toxic. They destroy the environment, food chain, and they're not at all good for bodies. So we bring that to light. We expose it. We make sure the entire civilization knows that about GMOs, and we make sure that our personal food supply, what we're eating and purchasing, is organic, local grown, etc. We vote with every dollar. And so whatever your money is, that's another thing. As much as possible, get rid of money, barter, exchange, do things like that. Live as simple as possible. A lot of people are coming up with different modes of exchange to get rid of the dollar, etc. Go for it, right? So in other words, whatever's holding the higher vibration of this beautiful world that we're talking about, as much as possible, anything that's dealing with free energy or ways to get off of oil and gas, etc., use it. If you can, right now, if there's a creek or something and you can hook up to it, great. If you do wind power, solar power, ride your bike more, all of these different things, right? We try to make heaven on earth as much as possible now. Plant things in nature that are edible, to get this flow going again that is good for our lives. If you are involved in any industry that is maintaining the old systems, very simple, get out of it. If you are in the military, stop. Join a force that is for peace, that is exposing, all of these things. Now, let's talk about military just for a sec so we can see what I'm talking about. Say this one force says, this force is doing something bad, in our opinion, so we're going to go blow them up or, go fight them, right? And then, so whatever, say this force is going, these are the, the horrible blah, blah, blahs, and then fighting. In truth, they're both operating at that energy level exactly where the elite globalists want to keep this fighting going, to keep this chaos going. They thrive off that. That's what they do. Imagine these forces, the people, because remember, the militaries are groups of people. So if these people individually say, you know what? I am for peace. I am for this new world, the world here that I'm talking about. And so any fighting I do is going to not bring that about. It's going to continue the old ways. And so what I'm going to do is leave the military. And for instance, if these people are so-called my enemy, and I'm passionate about this whole thing, I'll go over there, all right, but I'll bless them. I'll help them sweep their streets. I will help them dig their gardens. I will get to know them as my brothers and sisters and bless them. What do you think is going to happen? That one person, is the one person that's moving in the solutions, right? If you're in the banking system, you see how it works from your level. Get out. Get into ways of blessing people with alternative ways so we can get out of this whole thing. If you're working on a pipeline up north BC or something, immediately, without delay, quit your job. If you're involved in energy and want to be in energy, simply get into new and alternative energy things. You know, make a living doing that. Sell solar panels. Make solar panels. Whatever. You know, make cars more fuel efficient. Whatever you can do. Now, if you are involved in any aspect that, remember, part of this whole thing is exposing the dark. So if you're involved in any aspect in an intelligence way, be a whistleblower. If you work by a military camp, we'll say, and you know they're bringing barium, aluminum, and strontium onto these planes for chemtrails, and you've got the evidence, it's your duty as a citizen of the globe and this new world, and to end our enslavement and get back our birthright. It's your duty to whistleblow. It's your duty, if you know whatever's going on in any way. Smart meters, if you were one that signed off on saying they're okay when you know they're not, be the whistleblower that says, you know what, I was forced or whatever. You know, if you're blackmailed or threatened in any way, hey, we're all taking one for the team here. Gandhi did, Martin Luther King, on and on and on. We are here to take back our power. We have birthrights. Our birthrights are to live in the maximum potential. Education is another example of this. They're just programming centers. You know, they put you in school in kindergarten or first grade, give you 12 years of indoctrination into this is how you must behave and react and stuff. And then now notice, if you pass their exams, whoever memorizes the data, basically almost all of it is lies about history and different things and evolution and all these different things. You know, the programming culture that they want you to believe. If you really buy into it and answer their questions right, they get you go to college. And so that you can get more programmed. And then after that, you get to go work for things like a pharmacy company to poison people, and you think it's quite okay, you know. Become a doctor that is so, you know, programmed that you actually think that drugs are the way to go, and, you know, without knowing and recognizing that the body heals itself when it's put under the right conditions. You know, all of these different things. What we all know what I'm talking about here is that we've got to break free from the programming and the conditioning, the education system. So what do we do for education then? Well, you know, first off, we're all creative genius because we are at one with this universal mind. We are aspects of it. We all have the ability, the creative force within us. And so, as you know, I can't even imagine just how beautiful this earth can be once the suppression is gone. Once we all take back our power and reclaim our birthrights. But for instance, education, I can guarantee you it won't be putting everybody that's about the same age in a little box in a room 5 days a week for almost, you know, the whole year, and cramming them full of stuff and yelling at them if they're make noise or fidget or look out the window, or else if they're sleepy, lay their head down and get yelled at, it sure won't be anything like that. I think it'll be a lot of nature. Kid wakes up naturally, and there's a beautiful, healthy flow going on in nature where it's, if you're learning to count, you count trees, and, you can write in the sand. You feel like being creative, it's your maximum potentials are used, both right and left brain. On and on and on. And we sure definitely are not made to have to wake up in slavery and work. One thing that actually makes me almost sick to my stomach is I hear politicians say things like, I'm going to create jobs. If I'm elected, I'm going to make sure this mine happens up north. I literally cringe when I hear stuff like that. Because number one, what they're really saying is, let's rephrase this. I am going to put people into slavery, send them up north to a bitterly cold place, and make them work in slavery, raping the earth, and then we're going to make plastic stuff out of it or whatever, which is going to further destroy the earth. Now, what makes it sound good when they say these things is because people are thinking, well, if I don't do that, I'm going to starve. I need work to survive. And that's all part of the programming. We got to get this, people, is that the programming teaches us that we have to work hard for a living. No, it's the elite have created these systems and to put us in the survival mode to believe that. There is a big difference between working hard for a living for survival mode than maximizing your potentials through projects. And what I mean by that is the human being made in the image of universal mind, we are naturally creative. We don't want to just sit on a beach our whole life watching the waves come in. We like to create. We like to take things and make things of them and write songs and come up with beautiful technology and, different things like that, right? So we can do all of that in ways that makes it so that it's all in alignment with having our birthright, which is pure air, non-pollutants, period, pure water upon the entire planet, soils that, don't have pesticides and all this stuff thrown on them. In other words, the earth as it's supposed to be, this paradise on earth. We can have all of this. And now if you're not paying for a mortgage and your food supply is based on basically what's growing, that's what our body temples are designed for by this same creative force. Food comes from the ground. That's what we're made to have. We're not made to have all this prepackaged stuff with all these chemicals that you can't name, processed galore and, all of these different things, right? Real food, healthy, vibrant food, life-giving food comes from the ground. And so there's our food. Our shelter, that's, a piece of cake, right? Rather than plastics, anything that plastic can do, hemp can do better. And that's just one solution of the infinite amount there are. So what am I asking you to do? I'm asking you, one, is to get in alignment with your source. Get in alignment knowing that every heartbeat you breathe, the 70 trillion cells in your body, are all, you're being done by this beautiful source. It's taking care of all that. You know? That is what you connect with. You don't connect with, the elite globalists and all their lies. Connect with this source. The source will teach you everything you need to know. And you can always tell when it's source because there's freedom in it. It blesses everybody, literally everybody. There's no compromises. Everyone is blessed in the solution. Truth is in it. Transparency. One very clear aspect of the elite and the globalists and all that's wrong in this world is they're always hiding things. They don't let you see. It's classified. It's top secret. It's a company secret. On and on and on. So how much money did your company profit this year, Monsanto? And what was the real reports? How many people did you? We're not going to, it's an aspect of the new world that I'm talking about is total transparency in every interaction. That's an essential aspect of it. And as soon as you see any person or company or military or government that won't tell you things, the reason they won't tell you things, it's because they're working in this dark force. And so your job again is to bring the light, right? And so we move in our power by, number one, connecting to source. As we connect to source, number two, the vision I'm talking about, then your birthrights, your true birthrights, really come into focus and how much you have been enslaved. It's kind of like you put on truth glasses, kind of like in the Matrix or something, and you see just how enslaved you've been. All the lies, everything, how much you were dominated. They don't, it's like sheeple is a common word, right? We're moving from this place of sheeple into our true power. And remember, very essential, the only power they have over us is the power we let them have. So we have to stand together. When you see a protest that is standing for what's right, stand with them. That is us moving into our power, right? When you purchase anything, if you have a choice, purchase that which is going to bring in this new world. Hold the vision in your mind, the energetics of just holding that in your mind. Remember, everything that ever was first a thought. There was a mental equivalent, and then it came into being. So now it's time for us to hold this vision. Next thing is love. Love, love, love. If I could only say one word. And, some people go, oh, yeah, well, different people have different, ideas of love. You know what? We are all the humans, God. So right away when I say love in this context, you know what I'm talking about. Agape love, unconditional love, true love for the environment, for every other human on this planet. That kind of love and honor and respect of the sacredness. Next thing is recognizing that we are all cells of the one body of man. Like within your body, there are zillions of individual cells. You are one of the cells in the body of man. So I'm asking you now to be part of the solution with me. Part of the solution is first shift within. I did a video called The Process. It's on the livinglovesvision.com, and it's also on chrismadsen.com. There, The Process. It goes through the different stages of awakening. It's really important to know about those and to resonate, to shift into this higher consciousness. You've probably heard that there's a grand awakening going on around the globe. And it's all about what I'm talking about right here, right now. The degree that it's going to happen, or as soon as it's going to happen, it's up to you. It's up to me, and it's up to all of the cells of the body. We have to wake up. An example of this would be we're going to have borders until the consciousness of the people says, you know, globally, hey, we're done with borders now. You know, it's like, no, we're going to burn our passports. We're done. You know, we don't need this anymore. And that happens by raising the consciousness. And there's a beautiful thing that happens, is we were designed, this planet is designed for this world I'm talking about. It's kind of like, you know, when your body, if it, say, gets a cold or the flu or something, your body is designed to heal and then live back in perfection and vibrant health. And that's kind of like what we're dealing with right now. There's a virus around the earth within the body of man. And so what we're doing now is we're getting rid of that virus. We're taking back our power. We're reclaiming our health, our birthright. It's been stolen from us, literally theft, stolen. You know, it's time now that we no longer let these powers, whether they're in governments, corporations, elite secret societies, whatever it is, you know, it's time for that to all end and move into this beautiful place of, if you are going to govern, great, fine, govern with love. Be part of the solution of bringing this purity and this world back to paradise. And if you're talking hate or whatever, just like John Lennon says, you're going to have to wait, you know. If you're in the military, if you want a military and you're a general or yay military, great. Fight for peace. Fight for love. Fight for this. You want to be a real soldier? Join me. Fight for a green earth, a planet with a clean environment. Fight for a world where the children are born free, and that the greatest among us are those that are the servants for love. Fight with me for that. If you're a corporation, incorporate with me. Join me in my company, which is global love, which is being a servant to all. If you're going to have a corporation that wants to dominate by giving as much possible away. I'll give you an example. If you are say you make ink cartridges and stuff, right? Hey, how about making a printer that when you buy it, you can use ink that you don't have to refill again and discard cartridges, which are totally, you know, messing up the environment and costing us more money. Give us a printer that it lasts pretty well for life and with incredibly minimal amount of eco-friendly ink, you know, things like that. So, in other words here, bring it up. Raise your vibration, your consciousness. to this awakened place. And then as you do that in the world, the entire world will shift. And that's what this whole thing is about. Move out of the greed, move out of the ego, and the competition, and the jealousies, and all of the programming. Hold the vision. Hold a new vision. The visions that I have, they come from Source through me. But you are divine consciousness as well. The visions you have, I'm sure, are equally incredible. You know, we're all aspects of this. You know, so here we go. Let's do this. Let's do it now. Let's make this happen, right? By making it happen simply means allowing, by the way. Enlightenment is another thing here. You already are enlightened. That's your birthright. That's another birthright that you've been lied to, that somehow it's out there somewhere. The moment you close your eyes and just open your heart and give thanks and connect with Source and breathe deep, and that you are as enlightened can be, because that's what enlightenment is. You know, there it is right there. Live that every moment, that love. The sun is forever giving its light, but it's also receiving. It's a flow. In that very same sense, as we send our love and give it all, it comes in. You cannot outgive infinite energy Source. You know, the more you give, the more you get. You know, and what a beautiful thing. So, you get what I'm saying here. I know you do, because you are a human just like I am. So I encourage you now. Go forth. You know, write, blog, Facebook, spread the word, hold the visions, meditate lots, get in nature lots, you know, connect with this Source and expose the darkness at every opportunity you have. You know, here we go. We're doing this. Paradise on earth right now. Thank you.